What exactly is or was your injury?
It was an injury to my groin. They won't let me say the specifics, but it was my groin that was injured.
I think the broadcast was calling it like a stomach muscle tear or something.
It was the groin and abdominal wall that was injured there as well.
When did it first happen?
It really started at it was the first or second game. My hip flex was kind of sore, I guess, and I started to get treatment for it and played with a little hip or groin wrap. And when we were playing Bama, Sterling I was sore before that, and in the play of the Bama game, Sterling fell and he got up while I was running, and it overstrided. It caused something to overstride or whatever, and that's when I felt something initially hurt, and then finished that game. And Monday I came, started practicing, and noticed it was hurting a lot more, and tried to play through it against Tennessee, and it just didn't work out that well.
How many snaps would you guess that you played the other day? 10 or 15 or at that?
10-ish.
And it was kind of same up in Knoxville too, right?
Yeah, Knoxville, I think that was all. Those were, I think, 5 to 7 that game. I remember it was happening on the third play where I felt felt something pop, and then it was just too much pain after that. I tried to come back in later, it didn't work. Got some heat pack after halftime, and just still didn't work. And at that point, I knew I had to pass the reins on to somebody else to finish the game.
How frustrating was October for you, given that you really didn't get to hardly play?
It definitely wasn't something I'd ever been through. It's a new experience for me. Most of my injuries that I've ever had, I mean, it was just minor injuries and stuff that happened in the off season, and it was a new feeling having to be sidelined and just sitting there watching everybody play while you're stuck on the side, and it definitely wasn't a fun feeling.
I know you wanted to have a strong senior season, so when you came back for it, it looked like before all that looked like you were playing pretty well. So how frustrating is it to have this season kind of interrupted, marred?
It's definitely very frustrating, but at the same time, I also treat it as a learning experience, because it really made me really realize that how you never know how long you have to play the game of football. And I mean, I'm lucky that my injury wasn't as serious as other people's or other guys, but I mean, it made me appreciate the game that much more, and it makes me, or I feel like I'm gonna play a lot more hungrier while I'm out there on the field, just because of the time I missed and trying to make up for the lost time.
Jordan, I'm sure you've heard the criticism of your coach, the program, everything as such, and as guys that brought you into the program, do you take it personally when you hear stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I try to avoid it, get guys not to listen to it, and I mean, it's something that, I mean, there's no expect. I remember after there's Eugene Bailey. That's a nice hairline you got going there, Sterling. Yeah. But I mean, I just really feel like, I mean, I've lost my train of thought. But coaching, criticism,
right?
I mean,
you
it's
take
expected.
It
yeah, after the first loss we had against Bama, people were like, get fired, fire Richt, fire the defensive coordinator, fire whoever. But I mean, at the same, I mean, we're still having not a lot of teams in college football even gets to how many wins we got, and I feel like we're going to have a strong finish of the season. But I mean, it's crazy how quickly people just want somebody gone, and I mean, I try to avoid it, but that's just really how I feel about it, even though it was jumbled up and wasn't as clear as I wanted it to be.
Jordan, from a player's standpoint, every loss, whether it be a blowout or a close, hard-fought loss, how much accountability do you think players should take as opposed to a coach?
I mean, I feel like coaches can only coach you up to a certain point. They can put you in the right position to make a play, but the player has to take some of that responsibility. And I mean, I feel like it's almost a 50-50 split, or even a 40-60 split, with 60 being the player. 'Cause I mean, you could be in the right position to make the play, and you might take a selfish reason, have a selfish thought, and be like, I need to make this play, get out of your gap, play breaks for 50 or 60 yards. Everybody says, oh, it's the coach's fault for not scheming it up right, not having the players ready. But in actuality, it was ready. It's just the guy took wanted to do a selfish play. And that's what not a lot of people realize is, I mean, you can have the perfect game plan in the world, but if the players don't play, I mean, it's a moot point.
You said you see you guys having a strong finish. What makes you confident that'll be the case?
I mean, just from the fact that I know the team camaraderie we have, and I know that we're just not going to be like some teams and just give up when you get to this point. I feel like it's going to be a huge turning point for us these next couple and during this week of practice, and it's just the feeling I have. It's just a gut feeling.
Will the players allow yourself to think that what happens if we don't finish strong as far as how it relates to the coaches? What could happen if y'all don't finish strong?
I mean, it's definitely something that I think about it every now and then. 'Cause I mean, at the same time, that we think we do bad, they're going to try to talk us, but it's their job on the line. I mean, if we don't finish strong, one of the coaches might be fired or whatever. It might be a clean sweep, how some other schools are doing, and I mean, it's just I feel like something like that's detrimental to the program. I mean, when you fire a whole staff, you fire a coach. I mean, it just sets back everything that was set in motion. And I've always criticized it. I've always thought badly about staff that did that and fans who wanted that.
Didn't set